Hello, my loves. Let's take some time together. Take some time to show up. Take some time to gather ourselves, to kind of gather the community as if we're really all showing up to one space. It just happens to be our own space. And to gather, our thoughts, to really collect ourselves so that we can really, truly become more present in the here, in the now. So just simply taking some time to collect. You think about taking a walk on the beach and collecting shells, right? That just kind of very slow stride. Hi. That very slow stride. And picking up one at a time, right? That's kind of what we're attempting to do with ourselves. Like, there's a thought over here, there's a thought over here. We're just kind of grabbing them in so that we can arrive more deeply to the seat of oneself, to the center of oneself. So when you're ready, choose a seat that will support you. A seat that's going to support your thoughts and your mood and the temperature of the environment. Like, there's so many variables. Like, it's not the same each day. Even if you choose to sit in the same location each and every day at the same time each and every day, it's different because you're different. So kind of check out your texture, check out your bhav, Sanskrit word for kind of the emotional state of being, the state of being in the environment within oneself, right? The environment internally and externally. And then that's how you figure out what kind of a seat that you need, based on that, so that you're really supporting yourself, that you're supporting yourself through this process and through this practice. Let's tune in. And breathe in. Namaste. Thanks for showing up for yourself, right? I thank you for showing up for you, but I also thank you for showing up for us, that we really are a community. And we might not know each other, we might know each other. Perhaps some of you practice with me now, or used to practice when we were in this beautiful space together. Perhaps I know from a long time ago, or we're meeting today for the first time, but the point is that, there's a collective of humans coming together, right? So, thank you for showing up. So one of the things that I've been noticing, namaste, one of the things that I've been noticing is like a growing appreciation for the practice itself. And, you know, perhaps it's because the times are so difficult, you know, the times are so difficult that we need to locate some ways to cope, because there's just so much more to cope with. So the practice seems to mean more to many, which is a beautiful thing. Perhaps we even thought that it meant something before, a lot before, but I think because times are changing, we're changing, and there's a greater appreciation for the practice. Now, you know, the practice could be quiet meditation, breath work, mantra work, which is a repetition of sound, repetition of name, to attempt to quiet one's mind, or the physical asana practice, chanting, you know. So I'm noticing a deeper appreciation from others for their practice and how they practice, and or that they're doing it more often. You know, even I think about how now as I give session in the parking lot, I'm gesturing that way because that's where the back door to the parking lot is, over there. As I give session in the parking lot, you know, I have to just say to people, bring your own mat, bring your own water, bring your own props. And people are showing up with like blankies from their couches, like the, you know, Afghans that Aunt Tilda made 20 years ago for them, or what have you. Like, they're really showing up with their stuff. And there's something there. There's something very special about there. Something very telling about that. Something deeply metaphorical about that, which is what we had no longer is. So what I mean by that, there's a bit of catering that occurs with yoga. Here we have these incredible heated floors and all of these fancy props, like different shaped bolsters of different thickness and textures, and nice thick blankets and some softer, thinner blankets, and cork blocks and water and tea and blah, 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 like the stuff like that you kind of have known to expect that you will receive once you come into a yoga studio, not to mention the beautiful setting of this environment. And all that's been stripped away. Now it's like, meet me in the back lot and bring some stuff, right? But people are really choosing, like, wisely, like what they need, and it's coming from their home, and they don't seem to mind. I guess that's one of the points, is like, they don't expect to be catered to. They take full responsibility. They're getting what they need. They get their blankets, and they purchase their mats, and they bring their own water and what have you, and they show up because it means something. So there's something changing in the way of a deepening of responsibility. And then I was speaking to a student that happens to be a teacher in the school system, and how they are basically showing up in an empty classroom and providing instruction by way of Zoom, by way of technology, video. And I was like, yeah, just like me, you know, because I do these sessions now on Zoom, or even this one here. It's like, there's something so different about this experience of not having people in the room to kind of feed off of, as if you were an instrument and kind of a drum vibrating off the energy of the room, and as you offer out, it's being fed in, and there's a very natural and potent and very apparent reciprocation, and all of that is kind of stripped away. Yet, there's something extremely precious about these experiences. You're showing up for you, like you're being accountable for you. There's no one ringing a bell saying, okay, session is starting, okay, here are your props, okay, we're all going to tune in together at the same moment. The doors of the studio are going to be open, then they're going to be closed, like a sense of formality that assists the person in being present. all that has been stripped away. Now you're at your home, maybe with your dog or the phone, or like you're making the choice not to walk your dog right now. You're making the choice not to answer your phone right now, not to get up and have your bowl of cereal right now. You're making the choice to show up for you. So there's this like responsibility that has been kind of, resurrected, if you will, through all of us. Like, I don't know where our responsibility went, but, clearly it was, gone. Everything was just kind of a mess. The world that we were living in is a mess, and now this is the result of the mess. And it's giving us a chance to redirect, to reroute, to reapply. It's giving us a chance. It's like kids that have blocks and they build a tower and then it just collapses. And like we're in the collapse state, and now it's up to us to show up, see it's collapsed, and start to put one brick on it at a time. And this is the practice, just one brick at a time, right? There's something different, about now that I'm sensing, that I'm feeling, that is really vibrating through the air, in that you all, we all collectively as humans, myself included, are being more responsible for our well-being. And that really, really matters. So embracing, even though this time is terribly troubling, it is greatly teaching us how to take responsibility for our well-being. Because no one's going to do it for you. It's in your hands. And, just you clearing the time to show up and clicking the live feed, and taking a seat with me, with us, that freedom of choice, you were probably nudged into it a little bit come March, and now have chosen to just make it a routine. So once again, the crisis has created the opportunity. I think if I had just been, if everything was normal and I just opened the doors to this business 10 years ago and said, okay, just bring your own props and bring your own water and, bring your own everything, that would be completely different. People would be like, no, I want you to give me some stuff. I want something to be provided for me. Yet here we are, showing up, drinking the water that we brought, sitting on props that we created. You're doing it all on your own. You're doing it all on your own. And that matters greatly. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. Again. One more time. Now just drop the nonsense, drop the judgment. That breath didn't have to be anything specific. It's just yours. If it's short, it's short. If it's long, it's long. So be it. Show up for yourself in such a way that you are taking responsibility for the well-being of your mind, body, and nervous system. What do you bring? What do you bring to the table today? Drop into your hips in such a way that there is a union between what is supporting you and how you are supported within your seat. How are you supporting yourself as you check out what you bring to the table today? How are you supporting your thoughts, your body, your mind, your nervous system, your spirit? Because it is only you that can do that. First, we are granted awareness, the gift of awareness, by our willingness to show up. You took that step today to show up. And it is from that willingness to show up, we start to open up. We start to grow more aware of how we're feeling in the moment in time. And then we provide the prop for the self, the seat for the self. You are taking responsibility for your well-being right now. As you drop deeply down into your seat, getting a sense of what supports you as you feel supported. Slowly lift the waist in such a way that the midsection of the body grows more open and less compressed. And gradually build an energetic channel, a line, from the base of your tail to the top of your head. Essentially just open up the space between the vertebrae within the spine. Move your ears back in space just a tad, with a soft dropping of your chin, the tiniest bit. And this will open up the energy channel in the back of your neck. And softening the face, the throat, softening the chest, the ribs, softening the diaphragm, the belly. Come into breath awareness. Right? Take responsibility by coming into breath awareness. Take responsibility for this practice. Bring your attention to your breath. All those thoughts will still be there when you're done. Choose the breath. And notice it moving gently through the abdomen, the in and the out of it. The up and the down of it. This beautiful breath awareness. And this is the practice. You simply paying attention. As we grow the breath inside the body, we will attempt to slow it, and softening all the innards, the intestines, and softening through the skin, the outer sheath of oneself. And slowly build the breath from your navel to your chest on the inhale. Then take the breath from your chest to your navel on the exhale. sitting in observance as this breath moves inside the body. This is you. This is you taking responsibility for your well-being right now. Can you catch that awareness? Can you catch that observance? We'll go a little further for our pranayama exercise. So this exercise expands lung capacity and strengthens lung ability. Soften through the top of your chest as it feeds into your collar, releasing your shoulders away from your ears. Empty the breath from the underbelly and slowly breathe in. Gently retain in. Gradually breathe out. Gently retain in. Slowly breathe in. Gently retain in. Gradually breathe out. Gently retain in. Breathe in. Retain. Breathe out. Retain. Breathe in. Retain. Breathe out. Retain. Release the lock of the underbelly. Let the breath go. Let the breath flow. Feel free to move the body. Settling into one's seat, that you are creating a seat that supports you. You are creating a seat that supports you. Make no mistake, it is only you that can do this. A few more moments to grow deeply aware of this breath as it moves through the body. Sitting in great observance of it. And as you sit in great observance of it, it's teaching you about who you are right now. And it's from this inner depth, this inner awareness, this inner knowledge, this inner knowing of oneself, that we can show up to life more greatly. You know, what do you bring to the table of life, right? Slowly, join the hands together at the center of the heart, creating this beautiful gathering, this beautiful collecting, this gesture as the hands come into the chest. And breathe in. guess essentially you can say, or we might say, or I'll say, that the crisis dissolved the catering, right? We all, when it first occurred, right, we all just kind of went inward, bunkered, hunkered down into our homes, and kind of survived with very little, like the basic necessities, and that was it. And as we all started to kind of emerge from the higher state of lockdown, the greater state of lockdown, we all started showing up from a greater place of responsibility, truly, truly, truly taking charge of one's well-being, because no one can or will do it for you. If we think that others will do it for us, I think we're a bit misguided, and we will probably live in a state of disappointment. Although we are all here to support each other in human family, right? And those that you are closer to, I'm sure, are there for you. But it is only us that can do the work. And as I was mentioning earlier, just that simple act of those that do practice here, that they just have to like go around their house and go, what props can I find in my house to bring to my yoga class? It changes everything, right? That's one little thing of somebody showing up with their own water instead of the water that's provided for here, because everything has changed now, right? So what was once at our fingertips no longer is. And that doesn't have to be this like grave trouble. It could actually be a gift. It could actually be a gift. So in some ways, the crisis has eliminated catering in such a way that we're taking more responsibility for ourselves, and the great realization that nobody else can or will. Right? It's up to us. And that's why it's important to take these time to just sit and go, okay, what's going on? What's going on with me? How do I check in? And then I support myself as I feel anxious, as I feel afraid, as I feel angry, as I feel broken, right? Support oneself. As most of you know, I no longer consider myself to be the business person that has directed Shakti for over 10 years, so I'm not cutting myself a check. There's no point in being a director of a business that really can't be operating right now. So rather, I just put my energy and attention into being of service as best I can, providing a little guidance, and really just holding space for us to just go through our own processes. We're all responsible for ourselves. But, you know, I mention that just because I'm grateful for any and all contributions that come through. If you have an income and you can spare a little, I will gladly take it to keep myself in the space going. We'll see, perhaps we'll open someday. And if you can't, you know, all are welcome always. Always, always. Let's seal it. Let's seal it. Seal the deal. Maybe walk with us today. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live with an easy heart. Namaste.